Hello from the AC Library, here to walk you through evaluating web sources. There are several different acronyms you can use to remember the strategies for evaluating online sources, like the CRAP method. Yes, I said crap, but it's spelled CRAAP, or the SIFT method. Use any method you prefer, but in this video, I'll explain the DRAW acronym. The D stands for domain, which is usually 3 letters and appears just before the first single slash in a URL. AC's domain is .edu, which stands for Educational Institution. I can't guarantee that everything you find on all .edus will be accurate and reliable, but since the mission of educational institutions is to provide accurate and reliable information, we do trust them more. The other 2 domains with similar built-in credibility are .gov for government and .mil for military. If you see a tilde anywhere in the URL, it's this waving line that's in the top left corner of keyboards. Do not trust that particular page. Often, those are pages that aren't maintained by the institution, but are managed by individuals who might not always know what they're talking about. Before I continue walking you through the DRAW acronym, I want to mention that you can use Google Advanced Search to find information that's on just these trusted domains. Check out the video on how to do that available on our webpage at www.actx.edu/library/video-tutorials. Okay, the R in the DRAW acronym stands for reason. Websites with the domain of .com are commercial entities that are trying to sell something. You can't always trust what you find on .coms. For example, I've seen websites for pharmaceutical companies failing to list known side effects of the drugs that they're selling. Websites for national associations are usually great because they strive to provide accurate information to not only people working in those professions, but also the general public. Just some examples are the American Public Health Association, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the American Diabetes Association, the American Bar Association, and the National Association of Realtors. You can do basic internet searches to see lists of other professional associations. You can also search for trade associations. Here's a listing of some that are aimed at engineers. You may have noticed that all of my examples of trusted associations had .org domains. A lot of .org websites are trustworthy, but not all of them, so you'll have to decide on a case-by-case basis for .orgs, as well as all of the other domains, other than the 3 we trust, .edus, .govs, and .mils. The A in the DRAW acronym stands for author. Not only do you need to ensure that an author has credentials you can trust, such as a medical degree or an affiliation with a trusted news source, but you also need to ensure that the author was qualified to write about their topic. Even though a surgeon has gone through lots of schooling and is probably plenty smart, if they're not experts in hostage negotiation, if they write about that topic, they're not going to be giving you scholarly, reliable, trustworthy information. When you do your own research online, you have to make sure yourself that the authors were qualified. One reason we encourage students to use the library's databases is because you don't have to worry about this step yourself, as long as you ensure you've selected scholarly journals or journals as your source type. But if you've found something promising online, you'll just need to do some searching to find out more about the author. Try running a regular Google search for the person's name to see what you find. The W stands for when the information you're looking at was published. With online sources, this is not talking about the copyright year, which you'll find at the bottom of web pages. It's talking about the date that the page was last updated, the date that the information you're reading was posted. You won't always find that information. It's not included on this page by Dr. Goulston, who actually is an expert in hostage negotiation. But you will often find it toward the top of the web page, like on this page. Depending on the assignment, some instructors will allow you to go back further than others. But if you don't know what dates are acceptable, only go back 5 years. Don't use anything older than 5 years. That would mean that Dr. Goulston's article here wouldn't be one I'd want to use. Make sure that you consider whether the topic you're researching has changed a lot over the last few years. How we're using and what's available through artificial intelligence is changing every month. And when I was in school, Pluto was a planet, but now it's only a dwarf planet. If you're in a history class studying the Vietnam War, the 5-year date rule won't apply. And back to Dr. Goulston's hostage negotiation article, even though it's older, this topic might not have changed dramatically and still might work. Ask your instructor if you're in doubt about what's acceptable. Okay, that's it for this video. Happy researching!